DGTR has proposed to impose safeguard duty of 25% on solar cells and modules. Please share your views on the same.
Right, Shantanu. So, I come from a perspective of an open market. So, by principle, I do not believe in artificially controlling prices. So, my view on this safeguard duty is that it's not the right move. I have my reasons and I'll explain my reasons. I think probably I can explain it right now, or I can wait till your next question. But net, my stated position is a safeguard duty serves a short-term interest, but will hurt the industry in the long term.
If the safeguard duty is imposed without exempting the special economic zone, how will it affect the domestic manufacturing industry?
Correct. So let me just elaborate on the first answer and also then take up the second question. So what I believe is the safeguard duty by itself artificially controls the price. Does that? I mean, I understand the government's intent that it is trying to propagate the Make in India concept by doing what by controlling the prices of large-scale imports. Correct. However, at the other end, the government is also pushing for the adoption of solar. Right. So these are two contrarian kind of initiatives. At one of the ways to increase the adoption of solar is to allow for a free market and to allow for systems and solutions which can be most economical, so that the cost of solar adoption reduces. I'm not a fan of, let's say, I would want to say this, we in our projects use largely panels which come in from Singapore and also a lot of Indian panels. I'm a fan of Indian panels really, as against imported panels, to be honest. And we've had some very good experience. Okay. But the principle of controlling prices, that mechanism, I'm not in favor of. Now, how is it going to impact the, for the SEZ, if I were to call it that? I believe the manufacturers in India inadvertently also import these raw components, be it the silicon wafers, be it the connecting systems, etc. So at that level, there is no, safeguard duty. So it goes against that basic principle. So somehow I'm not able to digest this safeguard duty position. I do not have a direct view on how it is going to impact if it is not implemented at the special economic zone. So I would without having clear data points in mind with me, I would not want to make a comment on that channel at this point in time. Okay. I would rather give you a studied and well-studied answer to that. Once I have some of the numbers in terms of what are the capacities existing in the special economic zone.
So will the homegrown manufacturers benefit from this?
The answer is yes, they will, but on a very short-term basis. And let me explain that. And this has happened in other industries as well in India. So whenever there is an imposition like this, it tends to immediately, yes, there will be a lot of celebration within the Indian manufacturers, saying that, hey, we've been able to kind of thwart the, if I were to call it largely panels from China coming in. There's a certain amount of congratulations going around that this has been a successful way of safeguarding Indian businesses. But what it also means at other end is, it allows for, I believe it allows for inefficiencies in the system. The better the competition or higher the competition, one is always challenged to improve the product and also improve processes. Correct? A safeguarding allows the company to kind of protect their interest in the short term, but for a domestic industry perspective, it also means that much more delay in new products and new innovations that will seep in. And when I say innovations, I'm not talking only about technology. Innovations could be in the way manufacturing could be done better and prices could be brought down. So by maintaining a certain benchmark price or a safeguarded price, I believe the pressure is off the Indian manufacturers to kind of push themselves to improve. So there's a short-term win, but overall the industry loses. And I'll also take a view of, this is from a manufacturer's perspective. Let me also take a view, sorry, Shakir, I'm just digressing from the direct question.
No, it's
I'm
okay.
taking a view also on the way it will impact some of the projects, large-scale projects, for which have been signed off and projects are underway, and how it negatively impacts the sentiments. Correct? Wherein people have gone ahead and made their business cases basis certain prices, prevailing prices, or prices they expect it to be. What this does is it moves it negatively. The business cases move negatively. So there is a negative sentiment, and that also means that much more lesser appetite for people to kind of invest into solar. So, and that's the reason why I maintain the fact that a safeguard will serve a short-term interest, but not a long. But in the long term, the industry.
What do you suggest so that the manufacturers in the country can sustain the competition that it faces from Chinese players, and solar power rates remains the same as it is now?
So, Shantanu, I will give you my personal view, and maybe this is not the solution to your, or rather, ready-made answer to your question. But the way I look at what can be done is for us to start thinking of India as a possible influencer. We have the capacity to influence, be an influencer globally, on a global scale for solar. The moment we bring in a safeguard, we are actually dissuading ourselves from competing ourselves in the Chinese market later on, right? Which means right now we are safeguarding its interest from a domestic perspective, but we are losing an opportunity to improve our process, improve the way we do business, improve the cost, the way we optimize our manufacturing processes, which effectively means we will be happy doing business only in India. But the moment we get into a global scale, we become non-competitive, right? So as a solution, what I totally believe is for us to, and the government can support here, and this is one idea that I have, is because we are seen as a country which is influencing the way people are adopting solar. The moment we think of our scales of production, not for an India-only perspective, but from a global perspective, that changes the entire game plan. And the government can seriously think of influencing how the Indian manufacturers are able to easily supply to countries like Asia or Africa, where the solar revolution is just kicked in. So that is probably my view of how it can be managed. I always believe that in a subsidy or a safeguard is always okay where industry is the fledgling industry that just started. These are crutches, but what it does, it just helps the industry to stand. But the moment the industry is matured, it is important to remove these crutches so that the industry takes off. And a subsidy or a safeguard duty is those crutches which we need to start to let go once we believe that the industry is matured. And I believe at a personal level that the Indian solar industry is at that stage where it doesn't require these crutches. It requires the larger market to operate in play.